Hi, I'm Drex, and this is Introduction to Poi Spinning. In this video, we're going to cover the concept of flowers. Flowers are a type of compound circle that are created when both the poi and the hand are moving together in a circular fashion in the same plane. Frequently, though not always, the poi are completing more beats in the course of the move than the hand is, and this results in a number of enclosed loops in the course of the pattern that we call petals. It creates beautiful geometric shapes that are really reminiscent of what you could create with a spirograph. So, let's dive in. We usually define two different types of flowers. The first are inspin flowers. Inspin flowers are created when the hand and the poi are turning in the same direction in the course of creating a pattern. This tends to result in very broad and round petals that are pointed inward toward the performer. Alternatively, there are anti-spin flowers, in which the poi and the hand are spinning in opposite directions in the course of the pattern. This tends to result in much more narrow and sharp petals that are pointed outward away from the performer. We're going to begin our exploration of flowers by playing around with inspin flowers. To do this, give me an extension in the wall plane, where your arm is turning around clockwise. I'm using my right for this. What'll happen is when the arm gets to the very, very top of the arc, right here, you're going to stop it just for one moment, and the poi should naturally complete a smaller circle around the hand before returning to this larger circle. It's very important. We only want to make sure that the poi passes underneath the hand at the top here once, right there, before continuing around. Sometimes it feels natural to give it a couple rotations before going around. Resist this temptation. See if you can make it arrive and then immediately depart. Arrive and then immediately depart. We would refer to this as being a one-petal inspin flower. And again, you want to return to the extension immediately after you're done completing that petal. We can also put that petal at the bottom, say about even with our body center at our hips. Again, you just want to stop your hand for one moment, let the poi pass over your hand, and then immediately return to the extension. We can also add a petal on our native side, that is, on my right side. Once again, by bringing the poi around and up, and then stopping it when it's straight out from my shoulder, like so. We can also add a petal on the non-native side, that is my left side. As I'm bringing it around, I just stop it when my arm is crossed across, and even with my shoulder, and bring it up and around to complete the motion. It's very important that you make sure that you return to that extension motion in between every petal. So now that we have the locations of all these petals, we can start putting together flowers that have more than one petal. For example, we can try doing a flower that will be two petals, having one petal at the top and one petal at the bottom. Let's see what that looks like. We would stop the hand at top and at bottom, at top and at bottom. Again, make sure in between each petal you're reaching as far to the left and as far to the right as you possibly can. It can sometimes be tempting to just pass straight back and forth between them, but it's not as pretty a move. Similarly, we can try doing petals on the right and left-hand sides, making sure that we reach up and over and down and around in between each petal. Again, you want to check and make sure that the poi is passing by your arm only once before you switch sides. We can also start putting together these pairs of points into a four-petal inspin flower. Here's how. We think top, right, bottom, left. Top, right, bottom, left. If you've completed the previous exercise, doing this should actually feel pretty natural. What we did was actually just train our hand to find each of these four positions and be able to stop and complete a rotation at each of them. Again, you want to make sure that you're reaching as far away from your body as possible in between each petal to create the best possible pattern out of this. Now that we know the basics of flowers, it's time to start learning them in all the four timing and direction combinations. We're going to start off with Together Same. Together Same is going to involve having the poi turn in wall plane, and you're going to want to keep your hands about a poi's length apart when they're directly in front of you. We'll go ahead and move over to the side right here, and as you can see, I'm going to keep my right hand poi in between my arms in buzzsaw plane, while my left hand poi is slightly in front of me in wall plane. I'm going to reach down and around to my left hand side and switch to having my left hand poi in between my arms in buzzsaw plane and my right hand poi in front of me in wall plane. I reach the two of them up and over to return them back to the right hand side and my right hand poi in between my arms. Imagine as you're performing this that there is a bowl of water that you're holding in your hands. This will help to keep your hands parallel through this pattern and avoid tangles. Next we have Together Opposite. Together opposite can be a bit of a challenge because for the first time, you're going to have to keep your poi spinning when your arms are crossed. Let me show you what I mean. We're going to begin with our arms in a butterfly extension and stop them out on either side of our body to create one petal Inspin Flowers. We're then going to try and stop our hands when they're crossed over in the center to create a second set of petals. This is a challenge because it's going to require that we have enough plane control with one of our hands that poi can sit comfortably in between the front poi plane and the hand that's connected to it. If you look at it from the side here, what I'm doing is keeping my right hand poi turning in the space in between my left arm and my left poi. It's a bit of a challenge, but with some training, you can get it down. With split time opposites, the biggest thing we're going to need to drill is just keeping the hands comfortable, working in a split time butterfly, no matter where the hands happen to be. I'd recommend starting off just with a split time butterfly here in wall plane. This almost should feel like double Dutch jump roping in a way. Next, bring one of your hands up high to head level while the other one drops low. To maintain the timing here, you're going to want to make sure that it appears that the poi heads are coming together in the middle. One way you can go about doing this if it feels uncomfortable is you can actually tilt your head to the side, looking at the poi as though you were sideways. This will change the orientation of the butterfly such that it looks like it's a normal butterfly and the timing might feel more natural. Then you can straighten back up, trying to maintain that feel that the poi heads are coming together in the center. Next, you're going to reach your two hands out to the side to scissor past each other, almost like jaws closing, and that switches which hand is on top. Again, you want to find that nice split time butterfly place, and if need be, tilt your head over to the side in order to find the timing, and return back to vertical, maintaining it. Again, you want to scissor your two arms past each other, and return to the first place that we started. Thus, you're going to go back and forth between having your arms scissor past each other, and finding a split time butterfly place with one hand on top, and hopefully the two poi heads looking like they're going to come together in the middle. If you need to, stop for just a few beats in between each of these scissoring motions to find your bearings. And then continue on your merry way throughout the pattern. Split time same direction is a little bit of a challenge because for the first time we're going to be required to work in wheel plane. To start off with, we're going to have one hand reach forward and one hand reach backwards. Both are going to begin spinning the poi forwards in split time same direction. Now, the front hand is going to reach down and the back hand is going to reach up as we switch the position of the two hands. Again, we're going to look for the back hand to reach up and the front hand to reach down as we switch the positions of the two hands. Make sure that every time you switch positions, you're reaching your hands as far up and as far down as you possibly can. In between each of the switches, go ahead and stop for just a few beats to find your timing again, and reach back around to switch. Eventually you want to get it to the point where you can perform only a single rotation on each side, and you'll find that your hands begin performing a motion that is something like the crawl stroke in swimming. Flowers are an important cornerstone of poi movement because they open up the possibilities for where your hands can be as you're spinning with the poi. In the next video, we'll cover anti-spin flowers and be able to explore even more movement. Thanks for watching and enjoy the flow. Peace.